Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So Edgar Berlanga, he gave his take on a potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. And it's interesting to hear from Edgar Berlanga, knowing that he's been in the ring with Canelo and surprisingly did pretty well against Canelo, considering the fact that this was supposed to be one of Canelo's easiest fights. I think a lot of people, including myself, felt if Edgar Berlanga could have that level of success against Canelo, imagine what Crawford can do, which is why I thought it was interesting to get Berlanga's take. So here's what he had to say.
My good friend, my brother, Terence Crawford, wants to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
Just from your expert opinion, knowing how Canelo fights, what he's like in the ring. I know you haven't been in the ring with Terence, but what do you think of that fight?
I truly believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can't count him out.
So Berlanga, he's basically saying that if they were the same weight, Crawford, he would win the fight, which I think all of us would agree with. But in this scenario, Canelo Alvarez, he wins the fight only because he's so much bigger. That's what Edgar Berlanga was saying, which is a very fair assessment. I could definitely see Canelo being too big for Crawford. But skill-wise, I see Canelo Alvarez being an easier fight than Madrimov was for Crawford. There's no doubt about it. It's a tricky situation because Crawford, he can't make any mistakes in a fight like that because of the size disadvantage. Crawford is attempting to do what not too many fighters have ever done in the sport of boxing. And if he ends up getting that fight and he pulls it off, then we'll be having some serious conversations on who truly is TBE, Crawford or Floyd Mayweather. There's a reason why Canelo, he never asked for $150 million to fight Jermell Charlo, Amir Khan, Miguel Cotto, or any of those smaller fighters that he fought, because he knows how skilled, how gifted Terence Crawford is. During the press conference, Madrimov, he admitted that he looks up to Crawford. He said Crawford is his favorite fighter, and he even picked Crawford to beat Canelo Alvarez. I feel deep down Canelo, he feels the same way about Crawford. I believe he studies Crawford's moves, just like Canelo used to study Mayweather's moves. You guys remember Canelo trying to do the shoulder roll? This is Canelo once again fighting another undersized opponent, Alfonso Gomez, who was actually a 140-pounder. And in this clip, you see Canelo Alvarez getting lit up almost every time he tries to do the shoulder roll, which is why you don't see Canelo trying to do it no more. So once again, my point is I believe Canelo Alvarez, he studies Crawford's moves just like he studied Floyd Mayweather's moves. I also believe that after Crawford seen Canelo's performance against Berlanga, that gave him even more confidence that he could beat Canelo. I mean, you guys seen how excited Crawford was right after the fight, immediately posting a live video saying, "Put me in, coach." So at the end of the day, I don't know if Crawford can overcome the size advantage that Canelo would have in a fight like that. But regardless of that, it's a fight that we want to see. We would all rather see Canelo versus a very small Crawford as opposed to seeing Canelo versus 20-1 underdogs like Jaime Munguia, Berlanga, or John Ryder. I mean, I think all of us would rather see Canelo Alvarez fight someone his own size that's considered a threat, that's considered a serious fight, like a David Benavidez, a David Morrell, or someone like that. But since we know that Canelo is not going to take on a challenge like that, all we really have left is him fighting against Crawford. Now, Canelo did say, at least according to a report, this guy, I guess he talked to him on the phone, but he didn't really quote everything Canelo said. But he said that Canelo Alvarez told him that he wants to fight, or he's interested in fighting against Bivol, assuming Bivol beats Beterbiev. It was ESPN's Mike Coppinger that reported this. He said he's not interested in fighting Beterbiev, but he wants to fight Bivol. But we can't take that news really serious until we see what happens after the Bivol versus Beterbiev fight, and we see if Canelo Alvarez's people really reach out to Eddie Hearn or they reach out to Bivol's people and try to negotiate the fight. I truly don't believe that Canelo would take that fight, especially if Bivol ends up beating Beterbiev. That makes him even more dangerous. Now remember, guys, Bivol, he came out after he beat Canelo, and he said he will only agree to fight Canelo Alvarez if it's at 168 for all of Canelo's belts, and Canelo turned the fight down. I believe the only way Canelo will fight Bivol is if Bivol he end up getting knocked out a couple of times, like Kovalev did. That was the only reason Canelo fought Kovalev. He would have never fought an undefeated Kovalev. So when it comes to all of the possibilities for Canelo Alvarez, you got Bivol, David Benavidez, and Terence Crawford. It would seem to me that Bivol, he would be the toughest challenge for Canelo. Because when it comes to David Benavidez, there's no doubt about it, he has way more flaws than a Bivol. And while Terence Crawford is the most skilled of all of them, he's still 2 weight classes or 3 weight classes smaller than Canelo. So we'll see what Canelo Alvarez decides to do. Like I always say, man, I don't care what Canelo does. He can continue to cherry pick for the rest of his career. Because if he wants to be remembered as a fighter who suffered 2 losses, never avenged either one of the losses, tested positive for steroids, and now he's fighting against the weakest opposition because he got completely dominated the last time he stepped up against Bivol. And now everyone outside of Mexicans and other Latinos are calling him the most overrated fighter in history. That's on him. Let Canelo continue to do what he wants to do. I'm on to the next one, y'all.
Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.
All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Diki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodiki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
An important message from Youth Fountain Laboratory, makers of VasoFlux and VasoFlux for Men. If you're over the age of 35 and over the years you've eaten pizza, dairy foods, deli meats, or meats with fat, you are likely to have some degree of plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. This increases your risk of suffering a stroke or heart attack exponentially, and no one wants such a catastrophic event to occur. Introducing Blackout. Blackout is made of all natural ingredients proven to help dissolve clots in the blood, remove calcium deposits and plaque from the walls of veins and arteries, improve viscosity of the blood, improve elasticity of the veins and arteries, treat varicose veins, and prevent the reoccurrence of plaque buildup. For more information, visit Youth Fountain Laboratory at youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856. And remember, to help unclog veins and arteries, get the Blackout.